Dear Tony, Dear Tony, letter to Tony Hinchcliffe I wrote a while ago. Don't remember what I wrote. I'm not sure if this would be a movie idea or just some gay letter I wrote to Tony. People think he's gay. People think I'm gay. People don't know fucking anything about anything. Any personality type ever slightly different from their own, then go into instant shock. Can't believe someone might actually think outside of their own little universe. This is a narcissist. Loves the sound of his own voice. As usual, I'll include a link to the original. Dear Tony, thank you for creating Kill Tony. You saved my life. You saved my life. Thank you. I would explain how you saved my life, but it's too complicated and too boring of a story for me to tell. Instead, below is my journal that I'm currently writing live to you. So I guess this idea was always in my head, at least the last couple of years. Which I guess kind of makes sense. Hello. I will document my experience of becoming the world's greatest comedian, A Day in the Life of Dave, or at least better than Ricky G. I don't need to be number one on the list, only higher than Ricky. Tony, I have a beef with Ricky, but I'll explain that as I go along. I guess this could be part of the School of Comedy movie idea, somehow. Dave loses his mind, he's in the psych ward, and he writes this to Tony Hinchcliffe. I know how much you enjoy listening to the backstories of comedians. Here's my live story. My live backstory. Nice. Live story live. Just take every part of A Day in the Life of Dave, the boring parts. And then you have Groundhog Day. This is the 100% true tale of how I became the world's greatest comedian, or how I will become the world's greatest comedian. Day 1, April 25th, 2023. 2.5 fucking years ago. Got cold toes. I almost never have cold toes. Day 1, April 25th, 2023. I'm sitting in front of the police station. It's loaded. I'm sitting in front of the police station. It's located across from my local comedy club. The sign says, dine, drink, laugh. And I wonder why they don't say laugh first. It's 30 minutes before the open mic starts. I'm watching to see how many customers there'll be before deciding if I'll enter. I see a few couples go in, not many. Mostly a unique variety of men. I see a few couples go in, not many. Mostly a unique variety of men are arriving alone. I assume they are there for the stage time, not to watch. Like my plan for the first night. I won't sign up, I'll just get a feel for the place. Overall, I see less than 12 people arrive. Seems light. I should note, Tony, I haven't been in a stand-up club for 30 years. I love and watch stand-up online daily, but I'm too cheap to spend money on live laughter for some reason. And although I haven't wanted to do stand-up for 40 years, and although I've wanted to do stand-up for 40 years, I didn't have the balls until now. By the way, listener, if I ever own this house, I'm going to build a stage in the backyard. A little open mic. God damn it, that's funny. And although I've wanted to do stand-up for 40 years, I didn't have the balls until now. If I sign up for open mics, it's free, but I'm not ready for the stage yet. I need to get inside the club and get a feeling for the building, the atmosphere, the crowd. But I'm on a limited income. I can't afford to go out every night to a comedy club and spend money on the ticket and mandatory drinks. Twice a week is all my current budget will allow. But now that I decided to get up on stage, I can't wait. I want to find a spot every night to either watch others and laugh or build the courage to perform myself. No hook, Tony, like an addiction. And I haven't even taken the stage yet. Haven't said a single word into a mic yet. Unless you count the mic on the phone. That I'm pretty fucking good at. I can hold with my left hand, right hand, both hands. Fucking pro. Single word into mic yet. That's all I can imagine. Maybe I'll just spend the entire day reading outside. Later, my feet get so cold. I have to go inside. And then I can just schedule all these and disappear for a week. Great thing about having absolutely nobody comment on anything you post is you have no obligations. And since everyone I post for are too scared or too cheap to sign up and post a comment, probably too cheap, and a little scared, but whatever. I've got stories like this out the hoo-ha. I should mention, Tony, that I haven't had a spoken conversation in a year, and I'm autistic, if you believe that bullshit. The reason for not speaking isn't the autism, it's a personal choice. I dream my first time speaking again would be on your stage, and I have no means of getting to Austin, and I can't wait that long to grab a mic. Because the sign said dine, drink, laugh, I assumed maybe people had arrived early to eat first and then enjoy the show. Maybe the place was nearly packed. Maybe the dozen I saw go in there were the stragglers. Because the sign said dine, drink, laugh, I assumed maybe people had arrived early to eat first and then enjoy the show. Maybe the place was nearly packed. Maybe the dozen I saw go in there were the stragglers. 7:25 p.m., Tony. The time has come. Either I go in or I go home. I take a big hit on the vape pen, decide what the fuck, and I head in. Guess I should say nicotine vape pen or THC vape pen, but I don't remember what it was, so it doesn't really matter. I walk up to the ticket booth, ask for one ticket, and the guy looks at me very strangely, like to say, "Are you sure?" He looks around a bit, like he doesn't know how to sell me the ticket. He looks like he's going to leave, and asks someone something. It says he finds a free pass, and hands it to me, saying, "It's free tonight." Perfect, I think. I just saved $5. When I walked into the room, I could see why it was free. It was nearly empty. A big place, enough for 150 people, but all I saw was 3 or 4 couples, and a group of comics milling in the back, by the washrooms. The host seated me right up front by the stage. I hesitated at first, not wanting to be called out by a comedian, but then realized that if he did, that's a good thing. I won't heckle, but if they want to interact, if they want to engage, and I can be funny in that engagement, it's like being on stage without having to be on stage. I suspect, Tony, you're seeing some of the autism come through in this letter. I'm a different type of autism than Hans Kim, though. I have old school autism. This is the same as today's autism, except they tried to beat it out of you as a child to make you normal. Maybe not physical beatings, but mental ones for sure. I pretended to be normal for 55 years, Tony. Not anymore. I don't celebrate my condition, but I do take advantage of it. I plan on using it in my comedy extensively. Something like, I blame my autism for everything. It's like a get out of jail free card. I don't talk or interact with my housemates. Autism. When I don't talk or interact with my housemates. Autism. I get a call from Revenue Canada asking me why I haven't paid my taxes in 7 years. Autism. I don't make eye contact with the pretty barista at Starbucks. Autism. I make too much eye contact with the pretty barista and make her and myself uncomfortable when I order my coffee. Autism. I spent a year going to the same Starbucks without even noticing the pretty barista. Just a normal idiot. Just a normal idiot. And autism. I fall in love with a pretty barista for no reason. Autism. Which brings me to the second reason for doing this comedy, Tony. Aside from putting Ricky in his place to teach him humility, I'm also going to do this for love. The oldest story in the book. God damn it, I forgot I wrote this. Well, I didn't forget that I wrote it. I forget what I wrote. I'm trying to impress a member of the opposite sex, and I, or my artistic brain, has determined the only possible path to impress this individual, the pretty barista, is to get on stage and prove to her that not only can I make other people laugh, I guarantee her that every day, with me, she will laugh, preferably to tears, but I promise at least one LOL a day. Anyway, I'm losing focus. This is about my first time at a modern comedy club, not my plan to seduce a barista without even talking to her. The host who seated me said there might not be a show, which made sense, with more comics than audience members. The waitress comes up and takes my order. Beers are $5, within my budget. I order one and look around the club. It's not what I expected. It feels more like a hall than a club. A big open room with basic tables and chairs, and some weird carpet from, I'm not sure what era, but dated. I watch the comics in the back, talking, milling, and suddenly I realize if I do stand up, that is part of the scene, the small talking. I know myself. I can't small talk. It throws me off my game. I decide if I do open mics, I'll be the loner and not interact anymore and required to get on stage. Basically, I live my entire fucking life. Green. Then I noticed another comic alone at a table, writing in a book. Perfect, I'll do the same. I'll pretend to write. I'll be left alone. It would be rude of them to interrupt me in my process. 8 minutes past the scheduled start of the show, the manager walks up to my table, saying, "It's been cancelled," and gives me 2 free tickets to another show. No problem, I'm not bothered. Free ticket to get in, and now 2 more free tickets that I can use for regular shows, not open mics. I don't mind. In a sense, I'm up 20 or 30 bucks for my first night of comedy. I didn't even go on stage. I still have those fucking tickets. Along with a thank you card for Grace. Probably both going to be disintegrated by the end of the year. After the announcement, all the comics immediately leave, probably heading to another open mic. I should have stopped one and asked them where, but it didn't dawn on me at the time. Instead, proud of myself for at least coming to the club. I finished my $5 beer, which ends up costing me $8 because I can't figure out the debit machine, and pay cash instead. I head home, satisfied with my accomplishment. I realized, Tony, this isn't an exciting start, but it is the truth, and I know how much you respect honest answers in your show. I don't know how to lie anymore, so I assure you that everything in this letter is true, honest, authentic, and verifiable. Tony, I'll try and continue this story either daily or weekly. I doubt you are actually reading it, but maybe one day. Maybe when I do get to Austin and get on Kill Tony, and I kill, and you start asking me questions, I'll hand you this journal, printed out in a book form. I can only imagine that day, Tony, because at that moment, not only have I made it, I've made it big. I guarantee you, I won't sign up for your show unless I can kill, until I have the confidence to kill, in any room, any time, any place. Once I have the confidence and the means to live in Austin, Tony, I'll be in that alley every fucking Monday night, so I get picked out of the buck of destiny. I'll wait for fate. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for creating Kill Tony. Tony David. I'm gonna fucking suck up. Day 2, April 26, 2023. This might have to be a 2-parter. Day 2, April 26, 2023. Dear Tony, here are the notes from my second night of comedy. To be fair, this is kind of like a school assignment. Dear Teacher Tony, here are my notes from my second night of comedy. I know you're a busy man, and I know you don't like long, complicated responses on Kill Tony, so I'll summarize. I tried a comedy night at a pub last night, instead of a comedy club open mic. It was very interesting. I watched a few comics perform for 2 hours. I didn't laugh once. I blame the environment more than the comics or the host's inability to control the environment. They tried to reduce the chatter in the beginning, but were unsuccessful. After the introduction of the comic, most people continued to talk at their tables, while the comedian did their thing on stage. You wouldn't have put up with it at a Kill Tony session. You wouldn't have put up with it at a Kill Tony session. Crows don't like that sound. Of course, they just bitch and complain instead of leaving. Story of my life. You wouldn't have put up with that. You wouldn't have put up with it at Kill Tony. You wouldn't have put up with it on Kill Tony. This time, I sat at the end of the bar, as far away from the stage as possible, so I could take in the whole room. I haven't been in a pub for at least 4 years, Tony, and this one happened to be down the road down the street for where I went to rehab, also 4 years ago. Rehab clearly didn't work for me as I ordered a beer, although to be fair, I only had one, so I guess rehab may have helped. I splurged and ordered some fries and gravy. Without a cover charge, it was in my budget. Oh, I even included the receipt. One fries with gravy, $7. One coconut draft, $7. Loud is the only way I can describe the comedy. The female host had a piercing voice that hurt my ears. I wish I had brought earplugs. Note to self, always bring earplugs. The actual comedy from the host and the other comedians was okay, technically, but not funny in a loud pub with only half the crowd paying attention and the remainder there to drink their problems away instead of laughing at them. There were a lot of political jokes. All went over my head because I could care less about COVID, truthers, truckers, or Justin Trudeau. One comic even came out and impersonated Trudeau for 10 fucking minutes. He did get one laugh from the audience. I forgot the joke. I tuned out when he started singing an "O Canada" parody. I understand they're playing for a crowd of 40 plus, primarily white, middle class, slightly redneck people, but no one was laughing. A chuckle or two, but not a single joke where the comedian had to stop and wait for laughter to end. No applause breaks. In fact, they didn't even try to wait. The host in particular would just deliver a joke, smile like it was funny as fuck, and move right into the next tag. I personally would be concerned if my joke didn't get a response or laugh. She didn't seem to notice. Tell joke, assume it's funny, grin, tell next unrelated joke, repeat like a robot. This was so unlike Kill Tony. Near the end, I wanted to get on stage and give them your speech about shutting the fuck up while the comedian's on stage. On a different note, the fries and gravy were delicious. I miss pub food, but I don't miss pub noise. I don't think I'll pick this environment for my first time, Tony. I need a place that has control of the room. Although if I did use this location, I can guarantee myself no laughter and get my first bomb out of the way. But is it really a bomb if the crowd doesn't laugh at any of the comedians? Am I wrong, Tony? Am I being too critical of comics before I even get on stage? I know you hate when that happens at your show. You love challenging hecklers, telling them to put their name in the bucket, yes? Overall, I wasn't discouraged by the event. I'll still become the world's greatest comic. I was just surprised by the performers. They didn't seem to care that they were not getting direct responses to their jokes. They just keep punting them out louder and louder. At one point, it felt more like the political rally than stand-up. Yet I wonder if they still got the satisfaction of expressing their voice in public. Maybe all they want is someone to listen to them. Although I didn't find it funny, I was excited by the experience and couldn't sleep until 4 a.m. I woke at 1:30 p.m., so I guess I'm starting to feel like a real comic. It was confusing, Tony, but on the way home, on transit, I had funny transit jokes. I thought about the pretty barista. Her name is Lucy. Lucy, Grace, Betty, Veronica, 1,000 more. Her name is Lucy, and you can read about a fictional story. And you can read a fictional story I wrote about her here, or a letter I wrote to her manager before I stopped going to her Starbucks location. I'm not really in love with Lucy, Tony. I'm not really in love with Lucy, Tony. But if I had continued to go to her location, I would be. The problem is we've made eye contact too long, too many times, and I can't figure out why. I know why I look at her. She's 20-something and pretty, exactly my type. But why would she look twice at me, a nearly 60-year-old man? I don't look 60, Tony, maybe 40 or 50, but still, the gap is significant. However, this is where the autism kicks in, whereas I prefer the authenticity. I think, Tony, I can explain all of the autism spectrum with this single word, authentic. I know you would agree Hans Kim is authentic as fuck, as am I. Too much so. I would assume Hans gets all sorts of shit for blurting out exactly what he's thinking at the wrong time. Hell, he does it on stage, so I can only imagine him in the green room. Anyway, I'm authentic. I personally have no issues with the age gap relationship, even though Lucy might be younger than my daughter. I should just ask her out right now, before I ever get on stage, get rejected by her, wait for her to lie, to say I have a boyfriend, and move on. But if she did say yes, then I'm screwed. What can I tell her? I'm an old man living on disability with no means of earning a normal income. Will you marry me? I'm lazy, Tony. I don't want to ask Lucy out and have her say yes, and have to take her out on more and more dates and slowly get to know each other and then finally fall in love, get married and have babies, twins, boy and a girl. It's too much work. I need a shortcut because the traditional route will never work. My life situation is not attractive to any female of any profession or beauty. Lucy is very pretty, Tony. Fine feature pretty. She reminds me of Cleopatra. I need a shortcut because the traditional I need a shortcut because the traditional route will never work. My life situation is not attractive to any female of any age, profession, or beauty. Lucy is very pretty, Tony. Fine feature pretty. She reminds me of Cleopatra. Really, she is so far out of my league, I shouldn't even consider this crazy plan. Really, she's so far out of my league, I shouldn't even consider this crazy plan. Well, I guess it can definitely be added to the School of Comedy. Not because it's funny, but because it's about comedy. And because it's funny. Who am I kidding? However, on the other hand, I believe my main plan of becoming the world's greatest comedian is not only perfect to seduce Lucy, if she's single. However, I believe my main plan of becoming the world's greatest comedian is not only perfect to seduce Lucy, if she's single, it's also a perfect backup plan to attract thousands of possible Lucys. A comic with a shitty backstory is almost mandatory for a successful comedy career. It's my second get out of free charge. Get out of jail free card. If I'm funny. If I'm not funny, it's just pathetic. If my Lucy plan fails, I'll keep going with the comedy. Keep writing, keep sharing. However, if I can find a way to get Lucy to read my words or watch my comedy and not be offended or disturbed, I have a chance of bypassing all that getting to know you part and move directly to the I love you part. Either way, my backup plan will be... Good thing I wrote this down because I can't really remember what my backup plan is. Here we go. Get on stage, be funny, post video clips on YouTube. Yeah, I tried that, doesn't work. Continue to write this journal on Substack, didn't work. Print business cards with YouTube and Substack links, didn't do it. Hand out to women I'm attracted to after the show or anywhere I feel like it, especially transit. I guess until I actually go on stage, I don't really need the links or the cards. Hope they watch and read my stuff and find it funny or find me attractive enough for them to ask me out or throw themselves at me, whichever they prefer. I don't care. Repeat until I find my Lucy. I'll keep you informed of my progress, Tony. Once again, thanks for the inspiration to get me on stage. David. That is almost perfectly 30 minutes. I think that's a third of the letter, but I'm not actually sure because I'm using a new system on Kobo to download because I'm a lazy son of a bitch. But to be fair, this new system's working way better. And I forgot about all this shit on Dear Grace anyways. So enjoy. Thank you for not giving me $5 a month, because you're cheap. Or whatever reason. End recording. David J.